What up, guys? I am Sarah Garvey, and this is the People's Opinion. Now, I know you lot were expecting, right? You were expecting the Boss Bitch episode. However, the irony is, right? The irony is none of them turned up, right? They couldn't get to work on time, okay? But we're here anyway. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go and talk about some man talk. All right, we're going to do some man talk. And so we're going to go around, and I've got a couple of people here with me today. I really do. This guy, you might actually know his face. Let's go around this way. Who are you and what do you do?
I'm AJ, and I make funny facial expressions.
Basically, innit?
That's what I do.
Basically. Who are you?
Yo, I'm Mudiaga, and I coach it, but leave that for another time.
You said what? What's your name?
I'm Mudiaga.
Mudiaga?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it means stand firm.
Stand firm in what language?
Arobo.
Okay. Which is from where?
West Africa. So
Okay.
Nigeria, Delta side.
Nigerians. All right, guys. We got some guys in here today, right? So we're going to talk about the things that affect men. But I'm going to ask you guys a first question. What is a man to you? And what is a representation of what a man should be?
I want off the cuff.
Go on.
I think a man, in terms of the essence, is about presence, setting the precedent. You see what I'm saying? So to be there, and that kind of commands a kind of order, a kind of thing to follow. And then you got to go deeper than that, try and understand how that really works and fits.
So would you say that you are a man?
Yeah.
So the thing you think of when you think of a man, you think that you embody that?
Yeah.
I would say being a man is being the foundation, and being something that people can build upon. So you have your family, you're the foundation, you take care of all the emotional stuff, you listen, you help out, you do everything that you're supposed to do, and then you allow the people that are around you to basically build off of that so that they have something stable.
So you're like the root?
Yeah, basically. So I think nowadays everything's been a bit all over the place, whereas there's no more of that kind of like bottom line stability, which is men being men and doing everything that they're supposed to do, and then having the women build on top of that, but not in a sense of I'm just gonna, I don't know, leech off of your stuff. It's more of we're working together to build this empire. If you understand what I mean?
So a woman should be helping a man, and the man should be the lead.
Yes, you help each other in general. But I do think obviously the man should be the lead, and obviously the emotional brunt, the support. So prime example, have you ever been in a situation? We've all got kids here, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever been in a situation where something serious maybe have happened to your child? No, maybe they fell over, they really hurt themselves. Your partner is going to scream, "Oh my gosh, it's this, it's this." And even though you would want to be doing the same thing, you have to be level-headed in the situation to understand that screaming and running around and doing all that kind of stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not
you
good.
need to ground yourself,
sort
the problem out, and be there for your child and not be erratic.
Not be panicky.
Exactly. So I think that is just a part of what men are. It's the helping everyone around them ground while you're taking on the brunt of the force. If you understand what I mean.
Do you know what? Yeah, you said something there about being a father, right? And we're all fathers here. Would you say that being a father, can you be a real man without fathering children?
Certainly, man. Certainly. I think like having a child is a blessing. So, and we know everyone has different circumstances. But I think like being a man, it transcends blood, You can actually reach out to someone younger than you, or be part of a community, or maybe you're an uncle, and you play a large part in the life of your niece and nephews.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you can, because the thing is with me, I understand that when I became a father, there was a part of manhood that I realized I hadn't unlocked. Does that make sense? So when I became a dad, I unlocked a part of my manhood that I didn't even know was there. Does that make sense? So that's why I asked the question, because I know there's a lot of men out there today who call themselves men, and this is not like a slight or a dig, that do quite childish things. Like they don't do the stuff that men should do. But when you got kids, yeah, it's like you got no choice but to be a man and to step up. Do you know what I mean?
So I do think you can be a man without kids, just like you said, in terms of the uncle role or in terms of the community leader role. I think what we lost a long time ago was that it takes a village. And that, like, for example, I'm from Jamaica. Back in the day, if I was to misbehave and an auntie or uncle was to see me, I would get licks from them. But then I would also go home, and if I tell my
Get licks
parents I
from your
got
mum.
licks, I'm gonna get more licks. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, back in the day, it kind of teaches you that, like, no matter where you go, there's a community that's gonna be watching you. And I think that of course that's still there. It's just not to the forefront anymore, where we see a lot of men that are fathering the youth non-biologically, if you understand what I mean.
Right, so like mentoring.
Exactly. So we need a lot more of that. We need a lot more mentoring. We need a lot more of the mentality that that it takes a village. And I think slowly but surely we're losing that.
Do you think what the lack of community is affecting what it means to be a man, regardless of whether you have a child or not?
100%. Do you remember? So do we all go to school here?
Yeah.
So you remember?
I think so.
Yeah, also. So do you remember when you used to go to school, and, like, obviously I don't know how far, like, you guys would have been going to school, but when you get on the bus and everyone's making up noise, and you used to have the aunties that are like, "Can you lot pipe down?" You have the little kids that are being rude to the aunties. That was never happening before. So it's like slowly but surely we're going into degeneracy, and people are becoming.
But is that because of lack of manhood?
Yeah, I would assume so. Because think about it. If I know that if I'm rude to this auntie, that she might know someone that's gonna go and tell my mum, it's gonna whoop my ass, or I just know that I'm gonna get in trouble, or I was instilled with, like, such a level of embarrassment for my family that I know that if I was to do this to an elder, that there would be repercussions, whether that be physical or mental. Like, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, otherwise,
there's not a lot of that happening anymore, and I think it's because the men that are supposed to be kind of trying to brunt that now are no longer being given the opportunity to. And even if they are attempting to get the opportunity to, I feel like they're being emasculated when they are trying to do that.
So manhood is kind of being, like, eroded away.
I believe so.
Do you believe the same thing?
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, drastically.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said it. Yeah, I think manhood is being eroded. I think men are being effeminized. I think that actually bleeds into relationships between men and women. I think obviously this was supposed to be like a boss bitch episode, but it's like the boss. I think a lot of the time women think that they are the boss. I think it undermines what manhood is, and that's not to say that women can't be bosses. That's to say that a lot of the time that women being a boss, a lot of the time they would have had to go into a space where there's a lot of men. And so when a woman gets more masculine in a space of men, that might bleed into a relationship.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? And so she might go into a relationship with that energy, and then that kind of gets men in their feminine.
100%.
I also think that, you know, as controversial as it sounds, like the LGBTQ, the T's, where men are now becoming women and women becoming men. I think, yeah, it's becoming, what is a man is actually being eroded.
I mean, what is a woman? What is a man? What are these things now other than people's feelings? Apparently.
Yeah.
So I don't. Do you know what it is? Because there's so much blurring of the lines. I feel like that's why there's so much of an eradication of it happening. Like you can't do anything now as a man without, I don't know, someone having a problem with it.
Opinion on it.
If you, I saw a post the other day that said, "Oh, if you're a man and you're blocking someone, you're sassy."
Yes.
I was like, is this how far? Have you ever seen a list of things that men aren't allowed to do?
Yes.
Oh, is there a list?
There's a list.
Do they go around asking women, like, what turns them off of men, or what gives them the quote unquote ick?
There's a list. Yeah. Like,
It's even down to braking hard on a car. Like I've seen.
For real?
Yeah, I've seen it breaking hard and
Or,
On a car.
or two hands on the steering.
two hands
wheel.
on the steering wheel.
Or,
yeah.
Oh, that petty as
or a
well.
man wearing glasses.
Yeah.
Or it's like it's the pettiest thing in the world.
Wow.
And it's like, do you know what it is? Yeah, we're coming to a point where I feel like nobody knows what they want anymore. They're attempting to project what they want, and because they're not getting what they want, they're now ruining the market for everybody else. And it's just the infinite Tsukiyomi that's running around where everyone's just becoming hurt people that are hurting people.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
That's interesting because, like you were saying, me being controversial as I am, I feel like I'm not allowed to have an opinion as a man. I have it anyway because that's just who I am. But having one, you definitely get enemies. And I think one of my things that I've learned is that you can't please everyone, and I think a man knows that. Do you know what I mean? I think trying to please everyone constantly all the time is like it's just not possible. Like being a people pleaser is a very for me, it's a very feminine trait. It's like, oh, okay, I'll do what you say. Okay, I'll do. It's like, how many times how thin are you gonna spread yourself before you just go crazy?
I think that's something you learn real fast when you become a dad.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't even pick up my phone sometimes.
Hey, do you know what? You see, when you become a dad, that's how, that's the quickest point in your life that you'll understand that you're very insignificant.
Yes.
You clock it straight. And do you know what it is? It's like, I get it, I understand, but you're not even given a time to kind of adjust to it. Like you got to adjust.
Yeah, it's instant
straight away.
It's instant. Yeah.
Like prime example, you lot have felt the chairs in the hospital rooms when your partner's giving birth, right?
Yeah.
You felt them chairs.
I was gonna say this.
Yeah, them chairs, the neck pain, the back pain, and they're straight.
Do you know what I'll say though? When my son was being born, I was actually in the water. I had a water birth, so I was in the water.
Oh, see,
while
you're
it was
lucky.
being born.
My partner had C-sections, and it took a very long time. So they tried to obviously induce her first. It lasted around about 3 days. So for 3 days, each time we had the kids, we were in hospital. And again, I'm 6'2". Me trying to sit in that hospital chair.
You're not 6'2". I'm 6'2".
I'm 6'2".
You're 6'1", bro.
You're saying stuff.
You're 6'1", bro.
You're just
You're 6'1". Let's be honest.
You're saying stuff. We're definitely the same height. What was I saying? So in the hospital room, even when you're let's say for example your partner's just having a downtime, the contractions aren't that mad or whatever.
Right.
You're both just extremely tired and you just want to keep up a nap. I remember trying to go into the bed and just cuddle wifey. Let's try and take a nap. Nurse come in. No.
Off.
I'm like, B, I've been here for 3 days. B,
it's not you having the baby, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
it's not you having the baby, brother.
It's from then you start to understand it, and then when the baby comes, you go from a place where obviously it was just you and your partner, everything was lit, everything's this, blah, blah. Every bit of energy is into the baby now.
100%.
And then not only that, everyone that's part of your family is calling for the baby. They're not calling for you. So it's they're not even going to ask you how you feel. They're just calling for the baby. And we completely understand that. And we completely get that. But as things go on, you start to realize that as you grow as a man, especially in these situations, you understand that your emotions don't really mean anything.
What do you mean?
So if you're tired, it doesn't mean anything. If you're angry about something, it doesn't mean anything. If you're feeling neglected, it doesn't mean anything. Not necessarily it doesn't mean anything. It's just it's no longer high on the totem pole. So no one really needs to pay attention to it. And I feel like that little pocket right there is where people's relationship starts breaking down, because both parties start forgetting that, okay, the baby's here, but there has to be a reciprocation in the relationship for both of you still there.
Yeah.
And as I said, because after the baby's born and everything like that starts to deplete for men. I feel like there's no period, and again, I'm perfectly fine with that. I completely understand it. It makes sense.
Well, did you get it straight away though?
Huh?
Did you get that straight away?
Straight away.
Okay.
But again, I completely understand it. So I'm not upset about it. It's just you're not allowed to you're just not allowed to be down about it. You're not allowed to have any say about it. You're not allowed to, because it's immediately.
It's interesting you say that, because when my son was growing up, I inserted myself. You say I know that I actually inserted myself. So I said, I was in the water when he was born. I was I'm going in there. I was
he attached to you off rip, or was it?
Did I tell you why though? It's so funny because they said that you're supposed to when the baby's born, they're supposed to go skin to skin with the mum. And I took him and he went skin to skin with me. I was just like, you know what, I'm inserting myself because I was like, look, I'm gonna get him. And because it was like my first and only child. And yeah, I was like, I inserted myself. So I've been like linked to him. Like we've had a crazy bond like since forever.
So was the baby, so like prime example, when the baby was first growing up, was you doing waking nights and stuff like that?
No, obviously, because I never had breasts, so.
No, but was she just breastfeeding?
Yeah, she was
No
breastfeeding.
bottle?
No, it was breast.
Okay.
For a certain amount of time, and then they went to the bottle. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah,
so in that period, the baby weren't like waking up and crying for you or anything like that.
Nah, not for me. I mean, there was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you talk about it, like, I would say the first 9 months of being a dad, I was a zombie because of the no sleep and going to work, and because that's what's on you as a man, isn't it? As a father, it's like if you are there. If you are one of those fathers that are in the child's life, you know your responsibility now. Your responsibility is you got to go to work. Like, so even if the baby does wake up and it does wake you up, yes, the mother's obviously attending to the baby, but you know you got to go work at whatever time in the morning and go and slug for the rest of the day and then come home and it's like, all right, I've just done that. Now I got to do this. So yeah, it can be double.
See, and again, I'm perfectly fine with that. I love the experience. I love the start part of it in general. But do you feel like in that situation you was able to have any outlets about it?
No, there was no outlet. I'm not gonna lie, there was no outlet. I just had to get on with what I had to get on with.
And
yeah, I actually struggled in that phase.
Really?
Struggled. Yeah. That's why I was asking you, did you get it the first time with your first child? Because for me, I struggled a lot.
In what way?
It's just like going to work, having to deal with everything at work, come back, and then we're still sharing all the roles. So there'll be times where, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in a week, it's just back to back, and you've got the nights as well.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So that strained the relationship a lot. Yeah, between me and mine.
And in that situation, was you like? Did you feel that you were able to again?
Yeah, your feelings are not there. Like
that's what I'm saying.
You put it right there in terms of the hospitals.
Yeah.
Like, you got the birth, and then you got the hospital visits after. I always felt like I'm always fighting or coming with a certificate. Like, yo, I'm also, got guardianship. I'm a real parent, You want
to be shown some, like, again, I don't mind how everything went. I have no problem with it. I don't mind brunting it. But, like, I just wanted to feel like I was a bit more, like, just a part of the situation. Do you get it? Like, come in and ask me if I'm okay too. No, I'm joking.
What about me?
I didn't care about that in general. But, like even when, like, let's say, for example, I don't know, any health complications that are happening, they're just speaking to the mum.
Right,
like,
yeah.
It's like, you see what I'm saying? It's just, it's small things like that. And as you lot said, like, the first 9 months is absolute hell.
Yeah, the first 9 months was crazy.
Obviously, you do your best. Or, well, I would hope everyone would do their best to try and make sure that their partner's mental health is the best, making sure that the baby's in the best possible position. But I don't think there's a lot that's really looked into how Mandem's mind kind of goes downhill from that situation.
What do you mean? Like, what do you feel like that happened to you?
No. So what I mean is, let's say, for example, you're just going through a tough period for time,
right?
And you're just a human being, and you have no outlet. Whether you understand why you're going through the period or not, eventually it's gonna weigh a lot on you. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's small things like this that happen throughout our lives. So again, it's not just pregnancy situation. It could be I don't know, just something else. I don't know. It could be like a bereavement, something that's happened. And it's like, how weak are you allowed to be in these situations? How open can you be? How much can you speak about how you're feeling in a situation without feeling like it's going to be a detriment to the people that are around you that you need to be stoic for? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the part I'm trying to get at. It's more of we're held to such a standard where we need to be stoic about everything. And then it leads back into the us having to, like, anything that we do now is sassy, and we're not allowed to feel, and we're not allowed to do this, and we're not allowed to do that. And it just comes to a point where it's like, okay, well, we're basically just supposed to be robots.
Yes, men are supposed to be robots.
Provided, you know what I mean? We're just supposed to be robots, and then
if you're not a robot, you're sassy.
Exactly. And it's like, well, where do we go from here? What is after this? So we went from what we was before, which everyone hated apparently.
Yeah.
So everyone hated how men were before. Everyone
Yeah, the
hated how-
misogynistic.
Yeah.
The patriarchy.
Exactly. So everyone hated how men were before. Everyone hates how men are right now.
So what's the balance?
We're attempting to become more like
We're attempting to find a balance.
Yeah, we're attempting to find a balance.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like now it's sassy. So it's like where
I think they're just switching the table around, right? They just want us to be baby providers, right?
Well, that's why I said stop listening to women. Like I believe that any men that listen to women en masse are gonna just end up mad, because women don't know what they want from day to day, from week to week, from month to month. It changes.
Can't even get them to decide on dinner,
bro. They can't even go to a menu at a restaurant and decide what's going on. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're a man and you're constantly listening to women, right? Like you're gonna feed into their world and get confused about a lot of the stuff. And like you're saying about that stoic like thing that men need to have, you need to have that, and you need to have circles, even just like this, where you can go and talk to men and say, boy, this is how I'm feeling, this is how I'm thinking. One of the things that I saw recently was Tyrese recently did a podcast with Joe Budden, and I watched the whole of it, and it was interesting because he's gone through a very interesting transition from being married to being now not married, and his ex-wife is now taking the child, and now she's asking for like 20 grand a month, right? And people were saying that when Tyrese had his little breakdown on screen, they were like, oh, look at this. He was made into a meme. But I didn't know what he said is that he was on like psych meds at that time. They put him on psych meds.
Okay.
He was like, he was breaking down. But it was like, bro, that means he was at his lowest point. But people were laughing.
We were entertained.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like people were laughing. I'm just like, when women cry, people don't generally laugh at them like that. Men aren't even allowed to cry. And I'm not saying men should be constantly crying every week. Do you know what I'm saying? But I always say when a man does cry, it must be something serious.
Yeah, because it's not expected. It's like they'll look to you to like set the guideline, you know, make a decision. So where's the time for you to just be like, I don't know, what do you want?
It's just a lot of pressure. And again, I think Tyrese should be a case study in university.
Yeah.
I really think it should be a case study, because like you have to get to a point where people are actually clear about what they want and just stop the faffing about. You say you want men to be more emotional. All right, you got a few people that have done it. You've clowned the hell out of them. You've got your men that are like your Andrew Tates, who are just the epitome of stoic.
Ultra masculine. You don't like that either.
You get some guys that try to be the middle ground, sassy. So
what is it that you want?
Where do we go from here?
Do you know what's interesting, right? I don't know if you can play a video, Slim, because I actually got a video that kind of embodies what you just said there. Are you able to play it? The third, just see if you can. I know it's like the third one. Yeah, that one. Play that one. Guys, see what you think about this.
I went on a first date, and when I opened the door, my man was at my front door, and I was like, "Oh, like right." And then he hit me with the Rico. He pulled the flowers out, and I was like, "Wow, this is different, right?" So I'm not even paying attention. I brush past this, trying to walk down the steps and get to the door. Right? He opened my car door. I get inside. He closed the door. I immediately went to my group chat. It's weird. By the time we got to the restaurant, my follow-up text was, "I just realized and all that stuff we be talking about, we don't really want it." He technically did everything that we be saying we be wanting. In my mind, instinctively, my first thought was, he corny.
Red flag.
Yeah.
And that to me is like the epitome of what you were just saying. Like that whole, like, what do they want, bro?
They don't know.
Have you come across that?
Wild. Yeah, many times.
Yeah,
many times. But I think the simplest way that pisses me off is that I am a bit of a chivalrous guy. So I'll be walking down the street. I open up the door, and I've noticed that there's an increase in the amount of women, especially that just walk right through. They're just like, yeah, it's air.
Oh, no thanks.
Yeah, no thanks.
Oh no, you got to pull them back, man. You just got to
know
pull
what
them
I'm
back and close the door back.
It's
You got to let them go. Just go back out, man. What we doing?
But the thing is, it's like she said, she's like, women will say, oh, we want the nice guy. We want a guy to give us flowers. And it's like she just said, she was like, it's corny.
Can I ask a question? I've never understood the point of flowers. They stink.
Why? Where'd you get your flowers from, man? Some of them smell nice.
Bro, they really don't. But let's continue. I just don't get it. Do you know what? This brings us to the do you remember the other video of the girl that was trying to get taken out to the Cheesecake Factory?
Yes, the Cheesecake Factory
And
girl.
the guy was the most perfect gentleman. The guy came an hour early.
Yeah.
She made him wait an hour. He had to then reschedule to go to somewhere else because the fancy restaurant that he had picked, obviously the reservation is gone. He takes her to the Cheesecake Factory, goes to open her door, and she has the audacity to lock his door and say, I'm not getting out the car to go to Cheesecake Factory. Should have taken her McDonald's.
Wow.
Should have bought her a Happy Meal.
Do you know what's so funny? Because we're in England, I've never been to Cheesecake Factory. I don't know what it's like.
I think it's like what TG. Yeah, TG.
Is it like going Nando's?
Okay.
Okay.
But like maybe like upper echelon.
Yeah, but if he had something planned and you weren't there,
an hour late,
you have to get the other thing, bro.
So it's like what? It's like what do you lot want? Like, do you know what? I can almost guarantee you, people are gonna break this video down and be like, oh, this was sassy. Men are just talking about women's business. Why are you in women? Do you know what makes me mad as well? Yeah.
Go on, you tell them, AJ. Tell them what makes you mad.
I've never understood. It's like human beings can't have arguments anymore.
He's going off now, boy.
It's like human beings can't have arguments anymore. You jump online. If you've said something inflammatory, I don't care who you are as a human being, and I argue with you, why is your rebuttal? Why are you arguing with women? Who the hell am I supposed to argue with?
It's you here. You here, woman.
Who the hell am I supposed to argue? Do you want me to go on road and argue with a bunch of men? That's not my fault. What are we doing there?
Yeah, that's a cop out.
We argue with who we argue if we have a disagreement. Why is it all of a sudden now, if you're arguing with someone, do they have to bring the gender into it and make you feel it doesn't?
Do you know what I said? Do you know what I said on that, bro? You have to understand, to not argue with women, because women are very well versed in arguments. They're well versed from the playground. Yeah, they've been arguing with other women from when they were 5 years old, bro. Yeah, and they go for things personally. They don't even stick on the argument, bro. They'll be like, yeah, with your round head. You're like, oh, all right, well, okay.
Hey, that sounds
what the hell? Like, where did that come from?
Personal.
I've had that one before, man.
I've had it before. And I'm just like, well, what are we talking about here? Because it's now personal. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how they argue. They will bring you onto their battlefield, drag you on there, and beat you on their battlefield, bro. That's what I've said. Don't argue with women. Don't do it. Just walk away, or just say, listen, this is the point that I'm trying to make, blah, 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 and then just let it be done. Because if they will drag you onto their battlefield.
But don't you feel like you're just taking care of a child at that point?
Yes. Listen, as quote-unquote misogynistic as it sounds, I think a lot of women act like children. So
is there not a way to meet in the middle?
There is, but you have to be able to do that logically, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're doing someone who's not really dealing with something logically, how do you do it?
Yeah, but if they're not dealing with it logically and you're dealing with it logically, then there's always going to be a bit of beef and miscommunication, right?
So then, like you said, how do you deal with it? How do you meet in the middle?
I think you need to meet in the middle. Like when it comes to the vulnerability side, I think that's in their message as well. Make men more vulnerable. And yeah, they may not like it, but I think there's something in there that we can do. Like we should feel more comfortable, sharing our feelings. Like how we're doing now still.
You should go and be more comfortable to them. Cry one time and watch the pom pom go. Isn't that what you
you don't need to go that far. You don't need to go that far. I said meet in the middle.
No, but
what does that look like? What does that look like?
Is it only crying out of one eye?
No, it's only welling up. The tear can't run down.
Wait. Let me ask you something.
Yeah, sniffles.
You got siblings, right?
Yeah.
What's the makeup? Boys or girls?
Both,
yes. You had a mix, yeah?
Yeah.
What about you?
Obviously, I'm Jamaican. I found out I had a brother and sister when I was 21. So.
I'm not even gonna lie. I found my brother when I was 25.
Okay.
And he was 3 days younger than me.
It's cold. 1 year younger than me. It's cold.
1 day younger than you.
1 year younger.
1 year. Yeah.
Colder than done young.
So what were you trying to say though? Anyway?
No. Do you know what? Yeah, I grew up in a house with 3 sisters. So I've learned how to, just come down to their level to try and be like, okay, cool. What are you saying? How are you feeling? Just take that little bit of consideration,
Are you
and
the youngest or the oldest?
Huh?
You're the youngest or oldest?
That's the thing. I'm in the middle. I got oldest and I got two youngest.
Right.
Next one down from me is an oldest as well in terms of like she just knows how to like fire her tongue.
Right.
So I'm just like, whoa. Okay. Let's take it easy.
How do you think that made you deal with women in your relationships, growing up with women?
Maybe good, man. Like, I know how to crack jokes. I know how to just listen.
No, but
That's key.
would they say that about you?
What they said about me?
If you wasn't here and we had all the women that you've dealt with, would they sit down right here and say that
they're
about
all
you?
exes, so I don't want to know what they would say about me. But I say for the most part, they'll say, yeah, I was sensitive. I was like attentive. I understood.
That's what your exes would say about you.
Yeah.
Sensitive and attentive.
Yeah, I was attentive to.
What would your exes say about you, AJ?
What about you?
If they were in a group chat, they were in a group chat on the phone, what would they say about you?
They say I'm stubborn. I like to. They say I like to argue.
Yeah.
But I'm also funny and caring in like very specific ways. So I enjoy cooking once. What I mean by that is I'm not gonna cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm gonna cook once. But it's gonna be a very nice meal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my exes would say that I was caring, attentive. I know people won't believe it, but they would say that I was caring, attentive, treat them good, except for like my baby mother. She'd probably, I don't know, say
daggers.
Put a hit out on me or something. I don't know, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I think my exes would say, yeah, he's an okay dude.
I do agree generally, like just avoid arguing. I do agree that you need to find some tactics around navigating that.
What argue with women?
Yeah.
You have to.
But what? All right,
you have to.
What are those tactics? Let's go.
Like I said, men need to learn to ignore women.
Okay, that's his tactic.
No, that's a red.
Not like totally ignore, but you can tell when you can tell what to ignore. Let me say, there's things that you need to ignore, and there's things that you need to acknowledge. And we're back on. We're back on. Whoop whoop! Don't worry, guys. Temporary technical difficulties. It happens. Yeah, it happens. Where were we anyway? What are we talking about? Where were we? As a matter of fact,
Right,
we're talking about.
Knock me up.
AJ, what were we talking about?
Just about I think it was finding the middle ground. Yeah, it's finding the middle ground.
Finding the middle ground about arguments.
The ignoring and the not ignoring and the.
What do you think about the tactic of ignoring, bro?
Yeah, I think that's necessary for certain things because it can escalate beyond the issue, right? So just let them win, or just don't add fuel to fire. It's a good tactic.
Yeah, but then
it's when it's recurring, that's when you need to come with something else. Is what I'm saying.
The thing is, I've been in a relationship where the argument got to a point that it shouldn't have, and I had to walk out the house. Right. My thing is, if you consistently get to a place in a relationship where the arguments get there, you don't need to be there.
Did the argument start with you ignoring?
No, the argument started. No, it didn't actually. It didn't start with me ignoring, but it got to a place where, you get to. I'm trying to be politically correct with this because I don't know that, but it gets to a place where that somebody wants to take it there, and you're like, you actually want to take it to a place where it doesn't need to go. You have to ask yourself why. And so for me, my thing is, I'm not going to do this. I'm off.
Yeah,
So,
I heard that.
Obviously, but isn't that part of what you were trying to say earlier, which is they pick and prod?
Yes.
And again, we're not necessarily allowed to react. We have to be stoic in the situation. We have to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you're sassy.
Effectively.
And if you don't, then you're sassy.
I think where did that word sassy come from? Why did it just make a like entrance into the vocabulary?
It's always been there, but someone probably put it in a TikTok and made it famous, and now it's just rampant. One TikTok probably just ruined it. It just ruined everything. Everything. I'm telling you.
Like, because you were saying that you think Tyrese should be a case study.
100%.
And I think he should. I think what he's gone through should be studied by men.
that is it. Not even studied by
And
men. It needs to
women.
be studied by women specifically.
Yeah.
And do you know why? It's because it's a prime example of women saying we want this, but when you do it, we're gonna clown the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And do you know what's mad? I can almost guarantee you, Tyrese can't clap back like they say, like the youngins say. He can't clap back at anyone anymore. Do you want to know why? Because
No, but his way of clapping back has actually been quite good, though. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, because
Just telling the story.
He normally takes a high road and he just
just tells the story. Yeah,
speaks
yeah.
the story and kind of thing. But like, let's say for example, you just wanted to clap back on social media to someone because they were just saying something. The first thing they're gonna pull out is, bro, you was crying on the internet.
Yeah, you were crying. Yeah.
Bro, you was this, you was that.
Yeah.
And they're gonna use his emotions against him.
Yeah.
So it's like, is there a wonder why, like, men's mental health specifically is just
on the decline?
Like just in the toilet right now.
Statistically, a lot of men are committing a lot of suicide, deleting themselves.
Yeah,
let's say. Yeah,
like
a lot of men are deleting themselves.
It's in the toilet. And I don't think women understand the part that they play in that, because they definitely play a massive part in it.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to be the person's other half, and that person can't give you the emotions X, Y, and Z because it goes from 0 to 100 every single time. How is that man supposed to deal with his mental health? And then let's say, for example, remember what I was saying about the whole men have to be stoic, even if like things like bereavement, all this type of stuff happen. Or let's say, for example, your child falls down and you start crying and like it was a really bad accident. In all of these situations, you as a man, you always need to be stoic because there's so much going on. If everyone around you is crying and they're looking at you, because obviously you're the man, you're the rock. How do you think that's gonna make them feel when you start crying?
Yeah, they don't know what the hell to do.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're like, well, if he's crying, it's that's it, it's done.
Do you see what I'm saying? And I remember women cry regularly, but as you said earlier, when men cry, there's a problem.
There's a problem.
So if it's come to the point where the man is in a situation where everyone's in a situation, everyone's running panic, X, Y, and Z, and that man starts to cry as well, like
done.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's done.
So are you saying that there's some kind of natural order requirement for men not to cry? Because I'm listening to you guys and I'm like, so what? Why not just cry? Why not just let the ball drop and let the world burn?
I don't think men get
wait, hold me up. Wait, hear me out.
Yeah, go on.
Because I'm just listening to you guys, and it's like you're touching on what I think is the solution. Yeah, you're going around. You say mental health, like we guys got mental health, we got feelings, and I'm like, but why don't we just own it? What's wrong with that? So what if Tyrese is gonna get shamed for crying? You know, we should applaud him, or we should study him, and we should say, look, it's all right to expose yourself and be like, yo, I'm sad.
No, that's what I said. I think it is okay to do.
Yeah.
If you're doing it every week, it's probably a problem.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I think anyone doing it every week is crying.
Women do, a lot of them. Every month at least.
That's crying.
Do you know what I'm saying? When they watch, I don't know, a movie.
Listen, I feel like, hey man, if you need to cry, but go in the car, drop one tear, wipe it off, and then go back.
No,
I mean, you don't need to do a live.
No,
you don't need to do.
I think there's a balance.
Just one. All right.
No, there's a balance. I think there's a balance.
I think there's a stigma
you
still.
gotta be stoic again, man.
There's a balance, though. I think you have to balance what crying is and when it's actually quote unquote needed.
Okay.
And then for expression, I think you have to. I mean, I don't remember the last time I cried. I think it's probably like 4 years ago or something like that. I don't know. Like it's a long time. You get what I'm saying? But
it's not regular.
Yeah, it's not a regular thing. But the thing is, I was saying this last week. Women now set up cameras on the internet and cry, bruv. do you see how mad that is? That's crazy, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, right, let me get this ready. I'm gonna do this. Right.
Oh my God.
This is my story. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, what? You want attention. You want attention. And someone said a lot of people don't want help, they want attention.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? They don't want help. No one doesn't want to help nowadays. They want attention. They'll be like, oh, you okay, babe? You're all right, love. Don't worry, it's good. And they want that attention. They don't want help. Because they'll be back next week doing the exact same thing.
Do you know what? You see how you said the last time you cried was about 4 years ago? Was it in front of anyone?
Yes.
How do you think?
It didn't go down well. It was a woman. I'll be honest. It was a woman. And it didn't go down. It was my ex. Didn't go down. It didn't go well.
How do you think she viewed you
afterwards? It was done out, bro. This was. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was one of the things that she mentioned when we broke up.
No way.
Yeah.
For
she mentioned it.
That's cold.
100%. But that's what made me realize that men.
That's cold.
Like when things are serious for men, even when that's why the Tyrese thing made me like, it made me feel a certain way. I'm like, bro, I get it. Like sometimes when things are bottled up, they've got to spill over to somewhere. But if you do it in front of the wrong person, bro, it's finished for you. It's over for you.
See, and then how did you traverse that situation afterwards? Because I can only imagine that. Obviously, you've lived your life. You've been stoic. People around you are telling you need to be more emotional. You've gotten to the point where things have bottled up just to such an extent where you end up dropping a few tears. And the person that is supposed to be with you, that's supposed to love you, that's supposed to do X, Y, and Z, has basically said, "Oh, do you know what? We're gonna break up now." But and I'm not gonna
It's
lie,
hard,
part
bro.
of the reason
Like, it is. It's hard, bro. But the thing is, it's one of those lessons that I think people have got to learn, though.
what men have to learn not to cry in front of women.
No, not have to learn to cry, but you have to learn to do things in front of the right people and do it in the right setting.
Yeah.
And I think until you do it, you don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, who then? Like, how do you know who the right person
Bro,
is?
listen, cry in front of the wrong woman, you're gonna learn a lesson. I'm just telling you, you're gonna learn a lesson, bro. It just has to happen.
So basically,
Do you know how many men have done that, bro?
Yeah, I can imagine. So what we're saying is men aren't technically allowed to cry.
No, they are, but they just have to do it in front of the right person.
Exactly.
Or just by themselves.
Or by themselves.
Preferably by yourself.
Or by yourself.
And then just
Sadly.
never tell the world. just never tell anyone. Listen, I think the last time I cried, I had about what? Maybe 6 to 7 L's in one day. Yeah, 6 to 7 L's in one day.
What, when people saw you crying?
No. No one saw me crying. It's about 6 to 7 L's in
Oh,
one
that's
day.
what led to the crying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a madness happened like a few days before that. And I must have come out to the car and I see a ticket on the car.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Oh my days. I was like, nah, man. Listen.
Icing on the cake.
Listen, just one little quick drop. All right, cool. Back and I'm ready. Because do you know what it is? I was like, as a man, you don't have the opportunity to remain in that state.
True.
You don't have the opportunity to remain in that state. I can't have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 L's in one day and just be upset about it. Not in this day.
And then go home and cry to somebody
Can't
about
do
it.
that. Can't do that.
You can't.
And I think this is very dangerous. Have you ever seen a Malcolm in the Middle episode where Malcolm he got some kind of old disease because he kept bottling things up instead of saying what he wanted to say? He kept bottling things up.
That's actually true, though.
Yeah, and he went
That's
to the
true
hospital.
about life.
Yeah, he went to the hospital, and the doctor was like, "Oh, your son has such and such of a 40-something-year-old man that's been bottling up everything for time."
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like even though we're not seeing the effects of it off rip,
It's inside you.
a lot of this is happening.
Yeah, it's inside you.
Where do we go from here?
It's inside you. You got to have an outlet. Like I've always said to men, they've got to have an outlet. It doesn't matter whether it's with your guys, whether it's with your friends, whether it's by yourself. You've got to have an outlet, bro, because no one is a robot.
Yeah.
Like I play golf. It's an outlet for me.
Yeah.
I love the game, but when I'm by myself in nature on the golf course, I just feel like, I feel cool. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that a lot of men generally have got to have an outlet.
Yeah, you got to have like a psychologically safe environment for you to just be and maintain.
But then how often are men psychologically in a safe environment?
You got to make time. It's part of your
Hardly
self-care,
ever.
right? Because you won't have time.
Yeah, hardly ever. Because even if you are in a quote unquote safe environment, you're still not allowed to be weak and vulnerable, because even in those safe environments, people will still take advantage of you, whether that be, I don't know, emotionally, physically. I feel like something will still happen because there's opportunists everywhere. I personally don't think that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like your mind is where you need to be at. Find an outlet and then just run it like that. But the whole crying in front of people, letting people know this, that, and blah, blah, blah. I just don't trust it, man. I just feel like people are willing to use it again. We've been on like Clubhouse, fan base, all these types of different things. How many times have we seen friends of years
Just
on
turn
the
on
app,
each other,
just turn each other, and
start
they will
talking
come
about
on the
stuff.
app to people that they've never met before, never seen before, and they would expose your entire life.
It's true.
Oh, wow.
It's true. It's very true.
That's
There's sharks out there, innit, boy?
It's deep. It's deep. Where are we safe?
Well, that's why you have to create, quote unquote, I hate this term, safe spaces. Like, I hate the term safe space, but you have to create a safe space for you and your clan. I've always said, like, you have to.
What does that look like for a man?
It looks like a space where you and whoever it is trust each other enough, and you have to have conversations. Like, I think men conversations and women conversations are different. Like, the deepness, I think, of, like, if a man, you're going through something and another man's listening, we get the deepness of it. Like, if we talk to a woman, she doesn't get the deepness of it.
It's 'cause but the reason
that make sense?
Is that general? Is that general?
I don't think
all
women get the deepness of men's thing.
I normally think
do
the
you know
man are
what?
holding back.
Say again.
I normally think the man are holding back.
And even when they're deep, they're holding back. It's very true. Because that being that vulnerable,
It's difficult,
bro.
It's difficult to women. It's difficult. I mean, I can almost say unanimously, the men are probably more open to their boys.
Yeah,
Than they are with
definitely.
their partner. You're probably a lot more weaker to your boys than you are with your partner.
Yeah, because you know that's not going to be used against you like that.
Yeah,
They might
exactly.
rib you about it every now and again, though, bro. You remember that time you tried
that's
to ball, you tried to cry to me, but it's in a way in which you know that it's
that's
not
banter.
You get it.
malice.
They're not trying to be malicious towards you. They're not trying to put you down. It's just a little bit of ribbon. But if that is said to you from a woman, oh man, that's like a knife. That's a knife in the heart, man. It's a knife in the heart. Hey, remember that time you
remember
cried?
you were crying like a bitch that time. You know?
Sassy ass N-word. Sassy, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We're different like
Let me
that.
go make you a bottle. Give you some formula.
Guys, let me ask you a
Wow.
question though. Do you think there is a like crazy baby mama epidemic going on?
Yeah.
he didn't even hesitate, you know? No hesitation.
I don't know. I don't know if it's an epidemic in a sense.
No, hang on. I want to hear what you said. Yeah,
Oh,
you
fair
need to go and tell me why you said yeah.
Yeah, I think there is. I try to strip away the good and bad. So crazy, it could be good, it could be bad, but there's definitely since the whole COVID thing, I've just heard a lot more people, including myself, been in relationships, had a child, and then soon after just split, and that's what I'm saying is there's a lot of pressures that come through with that. And then once you're split, you now got to deal with things in a way where it's like you do need to carry the brunt. You do need to like just not say sorry or whatever, but just accept that people are going to look down on you as being the problem, and no one's going to care about your feelings during that. But you still want to be around your kids, so you have to do that.
But then is that to do with the people that men are having children with?
I think so, because I think you can co-parent, right? You can have a good communication.
Yeah, but
after the fact.
are you having children with the right person?
No, obviously. I think, in my case, I believe so.
I'm
not thinking about it right.
I think a lot of people are having children with people they're not supposed to have children with.
I'm having kids out of vibes.
Out of vibes and Ray and nephew, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Ray and nephew and weed has got people having kids.
Aren't you more likely to get pregnant off like one night stands as well? Like, isn't it because the way the body works? Because you're so charged up, like we revert back to like old instincts, which is
I don't know.
You have to impregnate whatever it is. So one night stands are like a large majority of pregnancies.
I haven't heard that one,
And
but it could be true. I don't know. I'll have to research it.
I mean, it's a lot more riskier, isn't it? Because you're drunk out your head.
But if you're gonna have a one night stand, why wouldn't you protect yourself?
Because most people are drunk when they're doing it. And again, those are breeding a lot of children. And then again, if you've been in this situation and you met Sally at the bar, and now Sally's pregnant with little Jake, and you ain't know her from nowhere, and Sally, I don't know, Sally likes to eat moss or something. You didn't know this, or Sally likes to
eat moss.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Moss.
Man, because what I'm trying to explain is because you don't know the person that you've had this situation with, you're potentially running into it in the dark.
It's a lucky dip.
A lot of relationships and a lot of children are being born out of vibes.
Nah, I agree with that.
Get it? A lot of them are being born out of vibes. So it's like we already have that situation, and not to mention with the rise of social media, you have to understand that I don't think the baby mama epidemic is necessarily getting worse. I just think it's more televised.
So you think it's always been there?
Yeah, I think it's always been there. It's just more televised. Remember, back in the day, obviously, I'm Jamaican. I'm gonna make some jokes here. Jamaicans will make sure the baby mom's around the corner. Yeah, so they're bad, but the baby mom's at least around the corner. There's a trials and tribulations. Africans, for example, the baby moms are in different continents.
This guy.
You see what I'm saying? You got the baby moms in different continents. You know what I'm saying? You got one over here, you got one over here, you got one over here. Man. And the reason why I make this point is, again, it's just because so much things are happening, and because everyone has a phone now, I feel like it's just more televised, which means the madnesses that are happening are just out there more. Remember, we had a whole show called Jerry Springer. Yeah, we had Maury. We had what's the guy that did You Are Not the Father, and the guy runs out with the camera. Like these things are just more televised now, which means it's being brought to the forefront, and people love that type of content. They love to look at other people's lives and see, oh shit, your life is worse than mine. All right, let me get popcorn. Yeah, let me enjoy it. So I think they're not. I don't necessarily think there's more. I don't think it's worse. I just think what's been happening is just being televised more.
I think it's getting worse.
It's worse because there's an incentive around doing that. You understand?
Right.
Like back in the day, you get these actors, or maybe you have to go and source these real people, like Crazy Lives. Now everybody has an incentive to try and be popular. So let's just expose everything on there. You see what I'm saying?
I actually think it's different. I actually think women are incentivized to be crazy when it comes to being a baby mother. And when I say quote unquote crazy, I mean they get money, right? They can take a guy's, they can take guy to the cleaners and divorce. They can get money that way, right? They can be the victim consistently. I think women consistently want to be the victim. In a breakup, women want to be the victim, right? Men generally don't want to be the victim in the breakup. They're like, oh, yeah, we just broke up. Women were like, oh, he was a narcissist, and they you know what I mean? They want to be a victim in the relationship.
They just like that word.
They love that.
Just like that word.
And so it's like, yeah, they want to be a victim. So I just think being crazy is like incentivized for them, both like socially and monetarily.
You're not wrong.
That's what I think.
Yes,
I don't.
Because I know so many. I consult men each month, right? And I've heard so many stories about the baby mama. And I'm not talking about women. We talk about one night stands. I'm not even talking about women that they've had a one night stand. I'm talking about men that have been with women for like 5-6 years, married to women, blah blah blah. And it's like you hear what's going on. I'm like, you're with her for how long? And she's acting like that. Yeah.
What's the most common thing you hear in your sessions?
The most common thing that I hear is men having to fight for custody, or even just to see their own children.
Yeah, and they have
That's
to
the
do
most
it.
common thing.
They have to do it in a kind of way where it's fully hands off. You know, where it's like there's almost an assumption from the beginning that you're in the wrong, so you need to work harder because the law does favor the child go with the mum. Yeah. So when it comes to the whole social connotations around that, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, even my situation, I was with a woman for like 10 years, bro. It wasn't some fly by night. And even after being with her for 10 years, and the things I'm getting, I'm like, you're acting like I'm some kind of deadbeat or something. Like I've just slept with you, and it's crazy. And the thing is, going back to Tyrese, Tyrese was saying in his interview, was saying it was very weird for him to process as a man being with someone for so long and having this life, and then it being meeting somebody again, like, and they're looking at you like you don't know them, and you're like, it's me, innit? Like,
yeah, I've been here.
Yeah, it's me. And they're like, and you're like, but it's me though. And I think that I had to adjust to that as well. I remember I was like, why are you acting like this? Like, we were just living together. Like, why are you acting? It's crazy, bro.
See, that must instill some serious trust issues, because you said 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
And it's like the mask just came off and just completely
different. The mask came off, bro.
Do you think that's how it's always been, or like the new phase of ideas? Like I said, I think change. There's flip people.
Do you know what I think? I think it was always there. I just think now it's on steroids. I think that it's always been there. I think that a lot of the time now, for me, I said a lot of men are walking around, or a lot of boys are walking around not liking their dads, not realizing why they don't like their dads. Now we know, I think it's been exposed why children don't like their children now, because like there's a lot of mothers like turning children against their dad, and we can actually see it now. Do you know what I mean? And we can see with the way they're taking their kids and not letting the men see their kids. But back in the day, we didn't know that.
Do you know what? I find it so interesting because, as you were just saying, I've actually seen quite a few stories, similar stories specifically where men are like, oh, you know, I grew up with my mum, X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah. This and that was happening. They would do certain things to kind of run out and see where their dad is and be at the window and this and that and trying to see where their dad is, blah blah blah, and they get to an older state and they're like, raw. They sit down with their dad, they have a deep conversation, and they're like, now that I'm a man, I get it.
Yes.
And then they start dealing, the son starts dealing with women, and then they get into their own problems, and then they're like,
They get
I get it.
They
It's
get
like,
it.
I get it. And do you know what? It shouldn't have to be like that. It shouldn't have to get to a point where your son is grown up, like he's experienced certain things, and then now he's realized that you was the one that was doing. Like, do you
It
remember
was the woman that was doing it a lot of
do
the
you
time.
remember the show that came out? It was one of the women that does therapy, and I think the mum had lied to the kids about who the dad was
Yes.
for years.
Yes.
For years.
Yes.
And then it came back round. This is who your dad is. And there was
she
still denial.
It was Kirk Franklin.
Yeah, and there was still denial. Even
Now,
after
what
the
he done, he done a DNA test, find out who his dad was, confronted his mum on it. It's this guy, and she still denied it.
Oh,
She denied the DNA test, bro.
I mean, once you
The
told
DNA
her
is a
life
lie.
for that long,
It's mad, isn't it? It's like you got to
like,
keep
look
up
in the
with
mirror.
it.
Nah,
It's like, nah, it's not. But it says
not me.
99.9%. Nah. It's lying.
Nah, it's upside down. It's 6.6,
It's
man. You gotta redo it. You gotta redo it, man.
It's crazy. I mean, I remember it got to the point with me where I had to go and visit my son outside, like when he was playing outside at school,
Oh yeah.
and go and see him through the fence. Yeah, it got to that point with me. It's mad, bro. Like, so I had to just kind of time it where he would come out and be like, son, and he'd be like, dad, bro. Chat to him, and I was like, this is mad.
So what, did she just like stop?
It got to it was a thing of it got to the point where she moved house and didn't tell no one. So I didn't even know where my son was. Do you know what I mean? It was mad. It was like, I don't know where he is. So then I couldn't talk to him. She told no one to tell me anything. And I was like, why? Like, that's crazy.
See,
And they made up a story about, oh yeah, because I'm scared and blah and all this kind of. I'm just like,
that's so
That's
mad.
mad.
That's so
crazy.
mind-boggling to me. Like,
she's
it's-
scared of you, or
scared of me. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna go crazy on her.
That's what I'm saying.
And then it's the gaslighting, isn't it?
This is it, because you start to think, hang on, did I do something? Did
Exactly.
I fuck up somewhere? Like, what did I do? Like, what did we do to get here? Do you know what I mean? And it's like you start to question yourself. It's mad. And the thing is, I said it's not just my situation. I've heard this situation so many times with guys, and they're like, "What did I actually do? Like, I done all the things that men were supposed to do, and blah blah blah. But as soon as it came to breakup time, it's a lot of them get that power surge."
But
From the government, from the police, from the social services, and they feel like they can just act a certain way. It's crazy.
But you know what I think takes the real piss is that, let's say you are the bad guy, or let's say I am the bad guy. Yeah. Do you know these games? Yeah, you're just hurting a child. Keep hurting me.
It's mad, isn't it?
You're hurting a child.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's gonna have to wait till he's 18, 21, or 30 before he's
Have that
like,
conversation
yo,
with dad and
Yeah.
find out what was
some help.
There's a saying that says narcissists don't co-parent, they counter-parent. Meaning they try to counter your parenting when they co-parent with you. So everything that your child learned with you or something, when it's time for them to go back, they try to counter it. Oh, your dad this, or your dad that. It's like, it's just counter-parenting. It's not co-parenting. And I know a lot of guys that are like, my child was X, and I slowly saw my child turn. You know, like, what's it called? Ghost in Power, and his son Tariq. And I saw it, in 50 Cent and his son. And you think, how'd you turn against your own son? And I was like, you know what? I can see it. I can actually see it, because a lot of the time,
the influence.
you can get influence, and a lot of time being men. I was having this conversation today. Actually, a lot of the time being men, when you're young, you get to a point where you think you're old, innit? You get to a point where your testosterone and your balls start growing and the hair, you think, yeah,
I can do this.
And if you're around your dad, he's going to be the one that you're going to test it on.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to test your bravado out on somebody. So a lot of the time, it's going to be your father.
I think that's like a Greek mythology story or something like that, where I don't know it, so don't quote me, but you can Google it. But there's a concept where the son will kill the dad to take over the family.
It wasn't Oedipus, was it? It wasn't the Oedipus. No, Oedipus is with the mum.
But it's a known concept, though. Yeah. So
I think even I even heard Mike Tyson talk about it. Mike Tyson said that he was like fighting one of his sons and something, and his son like tried to get a little bit too rough, and he was like, "Yo, don't do that." Like you're telling him like, don't fuck about. I'm Mike Tyson, mate. Like, don't do it. But it's like I'm just like I get it, because at some point in time, your child is gonna feel, especially your son, they're gonna feel like I can take my dad. He's not like me. But yeah.
But yeah, I think that's what I would encourage, or what the approach I take is like just thinking about, look, what's best for our child, and then letting go of the rest of the craziness. Like I'm not involved. You know.
To see in your situation, was you with her when you had the child?
I was with her. Yeah.
For how long?
Not long. Say about 4 years.
Yeah. What did you, and you broke up when your child was what, 4? Or
no, 2.
Was it an amicable breakup?
No, it wasn't a good breakup at all.
What happened? Well, you don't need to go into detail, but was it
about it? But it just got to that point where I couldn't ignore it.
Yeah,
I couldn't ignore it.
You had to access it.
I had to draw the line, and it was more of like a make or break. Like, yeah, I'm bad or good, or we've got to break to see if you really want this. You understand? Yeah, we want to make a go of this. We got to break, and then after that, just weirdness.
Were you the deadbeat?
Yeah. But you know, I jumped on it, spoke with my sisters. I got the woman folk to give me a second mind. and the advice I got is take your time if you want to get back into the next relationship.
Yeah.
And show him what good looks like. That's it.
Because a lot of dads ain't deadbeats. That's what I noticed. That's what I realized.
Can we define what a deadbeat dad is?
Yeah, no, they're not. They just, you know what they are? They're guys that don't want to jump through hoops for women.
Oh yeah.
That's what it is. You'll be a deadbeat if you do what I say. I've had guys tell me like, a woman's asked them, you got to text me every hour.
That's mad.
When you're with the child, do you know? So I know where you are, and I'm just like, what is that? And if you don't do that, then it's a problem. And I'm just like, bloody hell, that's crazy. It's a deadbeat. There are deadbeat dads that exist. I get it, but I just think a lot of people that are being called deadbeat dads, they're not deadbeats. They're just guys that just want.
It's just easy to paint. It's easy for anyone to paint a dad deadbeat.
That's
what I think.
It's a go-to, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like narcissist.
Yeah, it's just a buzzword that everyone's using.
Do you know what I mean? It's like narcissist deadbeat.
You're a narcissist. Spell it.
N-A-R-S-ist.
Jesus.
Listen, guys, man. I've actually enjoyed this conversation. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
It's been real interesting.
Yeah, I think it's been quite interesting. Folks at home, thank you all for joining in. Actually, we're gonna kind of wrap up now. But yeah, let's get some final thoughts before we actually do. Actually, AJ, what's your final thoughts on the things that affect men?
Boy, I think the way that we're going, we're gonna have a lot more mental health problems to deal with men, because a lot of the things that they're trying to sort out aren't being sorted out because we're being gaslit about how we're feeling about the situations in general. And the more and more that happens, I think the more and more the rate that you said earlier is going to skyrocket more, because if we're continuously having to be the stoic ones in all the detrimental situations in general, and the minute we show some form of emotion towards those situations in order to kind of, you know, grieve or make ourselves feel better about the situation in general, depending upon what medium is put out. So it doesn't necessarily need to be social media. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be your partner. Depending on what media that is put out to you, could be a real problem for you. It could actually get worse. So I feel like we need to work on that, man. I feel like we need to be specific. Just tell us what you want. Us as men, we're very what do you want for dinner? This? Okay, cool. We'll do with this. Just tell us what you want, but don't tell us you guys want this, and this, And then when you get given this, and this, you then gaslight us or use it against us as a weapon to stab us with. It doesn't make any sense. And I feel like a lot of people that are partaking in this are just making the mental health of men 10 times worse. So
yeah, I think a lot more awareness needs to be brought to men, and a lot more skills to bring to men to be able to handle situations. That's what I'm taking away from this. You know, it's a beautiful thing when my boys might come to me and be like telling me it's something serious about what's going on. And I think sometimes we rush to just give them solutions and, women like, and then sometimes I feel it's more important to be like, you're doing a good job, bro. You're doing a good job.
Kind of let them
just
find their own way.
Circle, This is a safe space. There's no labels right now. You're doing a good job. And then try and find a better way forward.
Yeah, as I said, guys, listen, guys at home, guys and girls at home, don't want to be too sexist and all that. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you all. We are going to be live here every Tuesday at The People's Opinion. Okay, regardless of what you're doing and what I'm doing, we're going to be here. Even if we're a little bit late, we're a little bit late today. I know we're a little bit late today. A little bit late. I know, a little bit late, but we were late. But we're going to be here Tuesdays each night, Greenwich Mean Time. I don't know what time that is in the US or what coast. I don't know what time it is in Botswana. I don't know what time it is in Nigeria. Okay, just set your clock to 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and then that's the time. Because people will ask me, I'm in this country. What time is it? I'm like, I don't know. Just Google it. So yeah, folks, thanks for all joining in, and we shall see you next week. If, as a matter of fact, listen, where's my thing? I don't even know where it is. Where is it? Yes. There we go, guys. Come on. If you guys out there want to come and get this smoke. Hey!
The smoke machine is such a great touch, I'm telling you.